Okay. Fantastic. Absolutely. I can hear you. Now, not only are you on YouTube live, uh, I can hear you live. Uh, Put it on speaker also on your WhatsApp and see. I can hear you. I can hear you. Absolutely. I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes, I can see Victoria Mackinday. I connected you. I connected you on both WhatsApp and YouTube. So where I can't hear you on YouTube, I can hear you on WhatsApp. You can put the WhatsApp on speaker. Put the WhatsApp on speaker. Let me see. Can't hear Auntie. I can hear you. Uh, eh, I can hear you loud and my mic is on. I can hear, but they can't hear you, Auntie. I can hear you. I can hear you. So on WhatsApp, good evening, Kazim and Ifowoshe. Sorry, we're trying to have some correct some things on our connection. We are here both. The YouTube link is connecting now. Barrister Olumide. I can hear you on WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Let me send it. Let me see. How can I send? I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Auntie, put on your WhatsApp. Put me up. Put on your WhatsApp and put it on speaker. Put on your WhatsApp. Your WhatsApp. Your WhatsApp. Yeah, yeah, your WhatsApp. Okay. Gbé WhatsApp in WhatsApp. WhatsApp. How do I even type it? Ire, come and show me. Come. Mo dẹ̀ ń dúró dè yín o. How do I send the message? How do you send it? On stream.
Go back, mute. You can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Mute this one. Or mute again. You can't hear.
Now I can't hear you, ma.
Try
Now,
your external extension. External
uh, no sound though. Sound Yahweh. There is sound now from where? Me, I can't hear until Aduni again. No, I can't hear until Aduni again. No, we have volume here. Ah, until Aduni, we have. I can't hear you again. No.
No, try the external missing.
No, 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 no. Auntie Adunio, I can't hear you again. No, let me try this mic. No.
No, first plug this one first.
Hear me? Can you hear me now? But I can't hear Auntie Aduni. Auntie Aduni, I can't hear you.
They cannot hear
Please, can anybody hear me? Please just let me know if you can hear me. We can hear Barrister, not Auntie Aduni. See, that's the problem. Auntie Aduni, they can't hear you.
Maybe she can't hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to have to use another phone.
Use this one for your Facebook. Use this one to call her. Use this one for your Insta.
No, I need another phone to hear. Babes.
She has got that. And use this one for your Facebook.
Okay. I use this one for Facebook. Okay.
Use this one to call her. Use this one for your Insta.
Okay. Please, we are learning. Okay, Facebook, please. I'm going to go into Facebook now. Auntie Aduni, I'm coming. Just hold on. Barrister Olumide on Facebook. We're going to. I'm almost there. Please just hold on. And we are going to solve this thing now. This is Barrister Olumide on Facebook. I'm going live. Yep. So, I'm going to go out briefly on Facebook and come back almost immediately. Please just join me again. Emma Binu. Just hold on, please. I'm going to go out on Facebook. Yes. Just hold on until Aduni. We're going to, uh-huh. I'm the one calling you, Auntie Aduni. I'm the one calling you. I'm the one calling you. I'm the one calling you. We're going to. Auntie Aduni, o. Aduni, I'm calling you. I'm calling you. Pick my own. Cut this one. Cut this one. Uh-huh.
Hello.
Better. Okay, this one. Yes.
You guys don't be upset, oh.
Please, this
So
is.
can you hear us now?
This is our test transmission.
It's a test transmission, yes. It's a test transmission, so please don't be upset. Can you hear both of us now?
Please, can you hear both of us now?
Somebody said, Auntie Aduni, I just want to let you know churches are being sold now in Nigeria to the highest bidders. MFM on my street is now sold to a non-believer. Praise Jesus. The truth is setting people free. Don't put it on me. We are offering and tithes. The offering is not coming as it used to. And they cannot carry the expenses. So can you hear both of us now?
Please, can you hear both of us now? Yes. Awesome.
Yes.
So,
Barrister, can we still proceed today?
Yes, so we can proceed today. Wasting. I'm so happy. Thank you very much. At least Salijo Kaluwa can hear us. Madam Victoria Makinde can hear us. Yes, I'm live.
Please share to people so they can get to see his page. I told him, I said he's not doing enough for you to create enough awareness. I was the one that told him come to social media, have your own profile, social media space, where you will not be restricted and say you have only 1 hour to speak. I said this for 3 hours, people can ask questions. Somebody called you. Somebody saw you on my page and called you.
Yes.
The person sent a message to me.
Yes.
He lives in Canada. So there are so many people who need your advice and need your help. So that's why I said, have your own space where people can relate with you very well, especially YouTube and Facebook. You say, yes, YouTube and Facebook. You say that Instagram. I personally
Instagram. It is well with them. So good. Oh yeah, we can move. We can learn now because we can hear both of you. Thank you, Eru Jeje. Yes, so.
Oh yeah,
so today we want to talk about these Christian marriages. And one thing that I was talking with Auntie Aduni about, she was saying that why is it that Christian marriages are failing? Why is it that Christians amongst us here are the ones with the main problem in marriages? So something that we carried out in Nigeria, I want to give you the statistics of marriages in Nigeria and then all over the world so that you will understand. Now, the statistics here is that 1 in every 4 marriages will end in a separation or divorce by the 2nd anniversary. In Nigeria, 1 in every 3 women will...
2nd anniversary?
Yes. 1 in every 3 women will suffer domestic violence or abuse in the first year of their marriage. Now, Shija reports, this was in 2016, that Nigeria loses an average of 300 to 350 women annually to the hands of their husbands, former lovers, or male relatives. Now, the Clean Foundation, between January and September in 2016, recorded 30,000 cases of failed marriages in Badagry alone in 9 months. 30,000. Now, more directly to our point, research from 2017 to 2020 in Western Nigeria, that is Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, showed that 87% of cases of domestic violence and abuse, separations, and divorces are from couples of the Christian faith. 87%. Now, a recent study by the Pew Research Center in the United States and also published by Sachs and Sachs Law in the US shows that Protestant Christians account for 51% of divorces in the US. And it is now,
That is the Pentecostal.
yes, Protestant. Yes, Pentecostals are referred to as Protestants. And now it is a known fact around the world that Christians have the highest rates of divorces amongst all religions that exist. So in 2021, statistics showed that by 2025, the Christian or simple woman in Nigeria will more likely die from her marriage and its complications than any natural disease or ailment. So statistics even show you that the fact that you're a Christian makes your marriage more likely to fail than to succeed. The question now is why? Why are Christian marriages failing? So some years ago, we had a divorce clinic and about 85 women attended. It was 86, but one of them left. And after one of them left before the session was over. So 85 women were there. And after interviews and discussions, out of 85 women, 81 out of 85 said that it was God that told them to marry their husbands. So if in a divorce clinic, so
Barrister, did you get me?
Come again.
I said, does it mean that they don't really love the man they are married for because they said God said?
You see, the issue with Christians is that their choice of marriage is always by something other than themselves. They said they heard a voice. Some said they prayed and God said. Some said their spiritual father told them this is what God confirmed it, that this is ahead. That's where you hear, God told me you are my husband. God told me you are my wife. The conclusion that day was that God is the major factor causing failed marriages. Yes.
Come again, sir.
The conclusion that day, if out of 85 people, 81 in a divorce clinic said it was God that told them to marry their husbands. And when we asked them how, some said they prayed, they felt peace. Some said they heard a voice. Some said it was a dream. Some said their spiritual fathers confirmed it. So it now begs the question, if God knows the end from the beginning, and he knows at the end your marriage will be terrible, and still tells you to go ahead to marry the person that he knows is not good for you, that means God is not just. And this is the problem we have with
too much matchmaking also is still much matchmaking in the church.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Because all you have to do is to tell the pastor that you are looking for a wife, or that you have seen somebody. You know, some of them even set up marriage committee. Marriage committee is even fantastic. It was that Deeper Life marriage committee, and some of them, MFM too, has that marriage committee, where somebody will approach, they will not approach the woman, they will approach the marriage committee and say that they've seen a woman in church that, they are interested in. It is the marriage committee that will not call the woman and ask her, is she in a relationship? Is she seeing anybody? Has God told her anything? So they will now tell her to pray. And as you are praying, they start counseling you. You know that you are in a relationship with somebody already, but you don't know who it is. And they start building you up for a relationship with somebody you have not seen. Eventually, they introduce both of you, and you move straight into marriage counseling.
Wow.
They don't really, it's almost like you don't have a choice. And there was a time some people started, Baba Kumuyi came and banned the marriage committee because of the monumental failure. People started complaining because a lot of them now started fighting immediately after marriage. Because you are not allowed to date. You can't see the person by yourself. Somebody has to supervise your meeting. You cannot go to their house. You have to meet in an open place, and somebody has to be there so that both of you will not sin. So these things they are the opposite of dating.
Black
Yes.
black market, black market.
Ojalemi.
Okay.
And this is the problem. Christians marry people that they don't know. And then they say it is Christian courtship. And they don't even know what courtship means. Courtship is arranged marriage. It was used in the olden days by members of the elitist families to consolidate power, like they were arranged that Dangote's daughter will marry Mike Adenuga's son. So the power of consent does not lie in the couples, it lies in their parents. It lies in an authority that is not them.
Yeah, it's in those days, yeah.
The king of England will arrange his daughter to marry the king of Spain so that the two countries will not go to war. They will not form an alliance. Those are the origins of courtship. And this is why I believe the church says, it is Christian courtships we do. Because it makes you relinquish your ability to consent. Auntie Aduni, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to ask a question. In those days that they do that, this kind of the thing that you are talking of, that the parents are arranged and all that, marriage lasts in those days.
No,
it doesn't they don't break up.
It really did not last. That was what happened to King Ed. You can see the King of England now. He's in love with somebody else's wife, but had to marry somebody, Princess Diana. It led to extramarital affairs because there is the person you are with, and then there is the person you love. You did not marry the person you love.
So we say at the end of the day, most of these people that they are arranging, somebody say these people they are arranged together. Most of them that come for divorce, anyone involved, adultery. Is adultery involved?
In the Christian marriages.
Based on what you just said.
Oh yes, now.
Based on what you just said.
Yes. First of all, you will hear them say, if I knew you were like this, I wouldn't have married you. Why did you not know the character of the person you were getting married to? Because they did not allow you people to properly date. It became a spiritual affair. So when I opened my office, one of the first people that came to me was a minister in the Mountain of Fire and Miracles. His marriage lasted 24 hours. They broke up after, it was during the reception that they broke up. On their way to honeymoon, that same day. Do you know what caused fight?
What? This is why I said this program so that we can be hearing true life story. What caused the fight, sir?
This is what caused the fight, though. Phone charger.
AG.
Phone charger.
Phone charger.
Yes. The two of them were using the same make of phones. And after they had finished the wedding, they were going, the man's phone was already dying. So the man now asked the woman to borrow him a charger so that he can call the people that came for the wedding to thank them and ask, Shetty Dele, have you gotten home? The woman refused, that she doesn't share chargers. And the man said, but honey, I'm your husband now. And that is how a small argument started. So when they now got to Prayer City, they wanted to eat at the cafeteria. So the man went to get the food The woman took her food and went to sit down at another table, not at the same table. So what happened was this. The man came to my office, very tall. He stood by the door and I said, come in, to sit down. The man stood by the door. So I said, come in. He stood by the door. Then when I looked at him, I saw that he was crying. He was trying to hold his tears. He's very tall like that. So I was a bit, is this person here to harm me or to? Then he said that he really hates me. That is one of those people that used to say that I don't know what I'm talking about and I am against the Bible and that God will judge me, that whenever they listen to my show, this guy is always criticizing this. But it happened to me, exactly what you were saying. My marriage lasted 24 hours.
All the money spent, gone.
I said, so...
Somebody purposely caused the fight because you don't want to do it again.
So, they had that issue and, they were now supposed to go honeymooning. So, they now tried to sleep with each other. Then the woman covered the breast, said, don't touch me here, don't touch me here. She started telling him places not to touch him, to touch her. And then the man was like, yeah, husband. So that was that day was just the beginning, was the end.
Maybe she doesn't like the man.
Oh.
Like somebody said, maybe she doesn't like the man.
So why didn't she say so? Why will she go through? Why will she go through all the marriage committee? Even the man said, even during counseling, they can't sit down next to each other. That they sit down, they have space.
There was no attraction, no chemistry between them. She couldn't feel him. That was why.
This is the problem.
What am I sharing?
Let me tell you another. Mungbayima, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
So another marriage. This church, the pastor said all single girls should stand up. They all stood up. And he said they should bring a biro and paper. And they should write the list of all the men that are toasting them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those, yes, told them to write the list.
Okay.
And the girls started, people started writing. And then they put a basket on the altar and told them to come and start dropping the paper where they wrote the list of the men that are toasting them. So all of them came to drop the list on the basket on the altar. They now told them to do 3 days fasting. That fasting that there's no pepper, there's no oil, white fasting. And you got Igbari.
I was once there. It's white fasting.
So
I was once there now.
He told them to do for 3 days and then they should come back. So they all came back after the 3 days fasting. And they were doing worship and I told all of them to line up. And as they came to the altar, he will put his hand on their head and say, number 2 is your husband. You will go. Number 1 is your husband. Number 4 is your husband. That's how they were all receiving their husbands like a raffle draw. Then, if it was even someone that you did not like in the first place, but because Papa, Bishop, has said number 4 is your husband, then you will go and meet him and then make yourself available. There is a case like that happened 3 years ago. The guy and the girl, they were dating, and then they had a misunderstanding, and the girl had had enough. She said she wasn't doing. So the guy really liked her, and then he knew that this girl, she's those church girls. So he now got somebody, took the person to her workplace because he knows where she goes for lunch, and had shown the person the picture and everything, and now paid the person 15,000 naira to give her a prophecy. So this girl, at the break time, she came out as she was going. The person was already there. The person saw her coming and just walked past her and just turned and said, God bless you, ma. Are you Auntie Aduni? And she turned and said, yes. And he now mentioned her full name. She said, yes. Do I know you? And he looked and said, thank you, Jesus. That I have a message for you. You are in a relationship with someone and both of you are not, it's as if everything is scattering. He just said yes. Said it is the devil. Oh, that man is God's perfect will for you. Don't let him go. It is the devil that wants to prolong your marriage will be beautiful. He's God's will for you. Don't let him go. The girl said yes. This, that. And he said, God bless you. Like Pastor Remote, confirm me when God sends me Oro. Confirm. And he just turned and the girl said, no, come. He said, no, that she shouldn't give him that. No, he doesn't want anything. That God told him and he has delivered the message and he left. That's how the girl that had not talked to him for 2 weeks and blocked him went to unblock him and now called him and they made up. Eventually they got married. 2 years after the marriage, they had a fight. And the man started abusing her. You're always thinking that you are more than you are. This arrogance because you are 15,000 naira Nimofi fair. And the guy was like, what do you mean? The guy now, out of anger, now said, that pastor that came to give you prophecy, I was the one that sent him to you. 15,000 naira mofu with all your sense. Now one prophecy, now you take marry me. This is how Christians marry. But of course now, of course. All the time. And this is the problem where Christians always close their eyes to the character of the person and start saying, God, is it? But this is the problem. Auntie Aduni, do you know that from Genesis to Revelations, God never told anybody to marry anybody? There is nowhere in the Bible that God said, this is your wife, this is your husband. In fact,
they use Adam and Eve.
That is example, that very good. Very good. Let us go to Genesis. God said, I will make you a helpmeet. God said, I would make you what? A companion. Now, when you look at the definition of companion, it means somebody with whom you spend time, including animals. A dog can be your companion. A cat can be your companion. Companion does not mean wife. In fact, the first person to use the word wife in the Bible was Adam, not God. Adam said, for this reason, it was Adam that said it. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. That was the first place where wife was mentioned. God never used the word wife. And then when you go to Genesis 3, when God now asked him, after eating the fruit, Adam, where you dey? He did answer. Then he said, have you eaten of the fruit? And sorry, I was afraid. That's why I hid. He said, have you eaten of the fruit? He now said, it is the woman you gave to be with me. He didn't say it is the wife you gave me. He said, it is the woman.
I'm about to go to that. Remember, even at that time of Adam does not have any other choice
than Eve. He
doesn't have alternative.
Can I correct you there? Let me.
According to the Bible.
Look at it. Let me now show you somewhere that people miss. The children of Adam and Eve were what? Cain and Abel, right?
Cain and Abel. Mm-hmm.
When Cain killed Abel and God banished Cain, Cain said that if he goes, they are going to kill him. Until God had to put him. So who are the people and where did they come from?
Those are what Jim we don't want to hear. Those are the ethical questions we should have had, but they won't let us ask.
But
Who
look,
are the people Cain went to meet? Who are the people he's afraid of?
in fact, there were cities. What people don't understand is that Adam and Eve were the first of God's creation, not the only. They were the prototype. They were the first. Every manufacturer that manufactures a product, especially when it comes to automobiles, the first set of engines, the prototype of the engine is kept in the factory. And then the others are mass produced to be sold out. The prototype is always kept in the factory. That is why Adam and Eve were kept separate in Eden. And that is why if the prototype has a problem, then that means that the entire fleet of engines will have a problem. So the devil did not have to attack the rest of creation, he had to attack the prototype. Still, throughout scripture, there is nowhere that God told anybody. So I was even expecting people to say Hosea, where that God told Hosea to marry. Abi? Auntie Adunia, are you still there?
Yeah, sure.
They will say,
I don't want to interrupt you.
they said Hosea. God told Hosea to marry. But look at this. God told Hosea to marry of a tribe. And that tribe, they were prostitutes. So he said, marry a prostitute. God did not choose the prostitute for him. Whether he likes lepa or robo, he likes people with big breasts, it was up to him to go and choose. God has never said, this is your wife, this is your... Let us look at the birth.
Not anything on.
Okay, let us look at the birth of Christ. The birth of Christ was the single most important event, the most important birth in the history and future of mankind. Sheikh Babe. It was the most important. But still, the angel... yeah. The angels appeared to Mary. The angels appeared to Elizabeth. The angel appeared to Zachariah. The angel did not appear to Joseph. God did not choose for Joseph who to marry. Joseph chose Mary by himself. Even in the birth of Christ, that the heavens could not afford a mistake. Still, God did not choose a spouse for Joseph. So who do you want to give birth to that God will not be choosing for you when God did not choose for in the birth of Christ? Talent you fẹ́ bí tó jẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run máa choose for ẹ̀yin.
God said, God said.
So that issue, but already statistics have shown that Christian marriages have the highest rate of failure in the world. So it shows you that we must be doing something wrong. And this is basically the problem. Christians never consider the character of the person. So, you know, one matter.
Even in everything.
They just say,
they don't consider character.
You know, some will say,
as you say you are Christian, you're perfect in their eyes.
Because we are attending the same church. They will say, choose from this church, oh, don't go outside and choose from. Now, Auntie Aduni, armed robbers come to church.
If you choose from another denomination, they will not follow you there.
Exactly. Auntie Aduni, armed robbers come to church. Witches come to church. Babalawos come to church. Ritualists come to church. So the fact that you meet somebody in church, does that mean that they are of Christ? They say, oh, he's a...
Somebody here said, Barrister,
yes,
I'm reading comments on my gifting too,
please
so
go
I'm
ahead.
telling you. Please don't forget to kindly subscribe to Barrister Olumide's channel. We'll be doing this a lot. So that you can catch up with all the things we'll be talking, and if you need his assistance on concerning marriage issues, you can also talk to him. Somebody said, those Bible stories are mythical, Jari, they are not real. What do you say to that?
Those what?
The stories in the Bible that they are not real.
Oh, no more. If that's what they believe, is their problem.
I don't know Bible, Barrister Olumide.
Me, I believe in the Bible. Why? Because a lot of even archaeologists use the Bible to discover. For example, look at the Red Sea. The Red Sea is the only place, the beach, the sand is the only beach with glazing sand. You know how to make glass is when you put sand in high heat. Do you understand? And the coast, the beach has burnt sand that has molten together, which supports the story of the crossing of the Red Sea, that God was a pillar of fire in front. Then in the Red Sea, it was discovered there were chariots, as in wheels of chariots. It is not even, what do you call it? It is not a biblical thing. It was a scientific discovery. They went there. I watched.
There is Solomon's temple. There is no history. There is no evidence that it ever existed.
So while they were showing the war.
Anyway, don't let us go into that. That is not why I brought you here.
Me.
And I don't want. I'm not putting you into whatever I believe or whatever some people believe. So let's leave that. We are talking of marriages. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's leave that.
Everybody. You know, ma.
You know. So
sorry, ma.
So let's leave the Bible aspect and focus on this marriage thing we are actually talking on. That religious thing is a long one. And very long. Generation income cannot exhaust it because it has been existing ever before they born any one of us. Now, my question, sir. This marriages, especially this Christianity marriage, do you have Muslims too having problem coming to you?
Oh, everybody comes. Everybody comes. Everybody. You know what I do is not a Christian work.
The ratio is higher with Christian.
Absolutely.
The ratio is higher with Christian.
Absolutely, nah.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, 1 minute.
Go. She has disappeared totally. I didn't know. Auntie Aduni, 1 minute does not mean you should disappear for 1 minute. So, as I was saying, while we wait for Auntie Aduni to come back, see, I can't hear you again, no, Auntie Aduni. Let me call you. Okay.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So, my question is, what majorly is always the cause, apart from incompatibility, what else causes this wahala is needed?
So
obviously, from the little you have said, I think incompatibility is one of the major reasons.
Absolutely.
Like somebody they don't like being forced on them.
Absolutely.
And probably they see the person's character and nobody can cope with it.
Absolutely. So
what else are the major reasons?
So ma, I've been doing this for 22 years. And in all my cases, about 6 years ago, I came together to do a cross section of my cases. The problem with Christians, number one, is that they do not check the character of the person that they are dating.
They
just close their eyes and start praying. And Christians are the easiest people to lie to, because they will not find out, they will not check, they will just believe, because love believes all things. You just believe what anyone is saying, and that is how people create stories around themselves to get into relationships with Christians, and they always fall because. Let me give you one example. A gentleman they were in the same church, told this sister.
Just 1 minute.
Yes.
Just 1 minute. Somebody said I shot you down when you were expressing the Bible. I found out you are putting him in a difficult situation about what he believed, and this is not why we are here. That was why I said you should stop talking about it. Go on. He believes what he believes. It is not what we are not talking about belief now. We are talking of marriages, okay? So please, I'm just trying to respond. So you mentioned that you had a program sometimes ago with about 85 people too. 85 people in a program.
85 women.
One of them,
85 women. It was a divorce clinic. Those that were going through divorce, or wanted us to represent them, or those that life after divorce and all that. So it was 85 women that came. And I told you that out of the 85, after interview, after talking, and we found that 81 out of the 85 said it was God that told them to marry their husbands. Now, my point is that this has been the cross section. They will say, oh, I'm praying about it. I'm praying about it. But those who are non-Christians, who do not pray about it, tend to choose better, tend to have better marriages.
Why do you? That is, what can you attribute to the reason for doing that?
It's wisdom.
What could be the reason?
It's wisdom. It's wisdom. Even the Bible tells you.
Wisdom?
Yes. Let me explain. The Bible tells you wisdom is profitable to direct. The Bible tells you wisdom is the principal thing, and in all you're getting, get understanding. The Bible tells you my people are destroyed for lack of what? Knowledge. When it tells you, it didn't say prayer is the principal thing, it tells you wisdom is and that God is a fountain of wisdom. So we know that everything God does is wise. It must be very intelligent. Now, you are dating somebody. One day you people had an argument and he slapped you. And then you come and you ask a question that somebody slapped, and then you are telling that, no, this person is going to be violent. And the woman says, yes, I know he's not tempered, but we are praying about it. And they end up getting married because they say, don't worry, he will change. But it happens to another woman and said, you slapped me. And that was the end of the relationship. Who is wiser?
Do you think it's about wisdom or about because they say divorce is not allowed in Christianity? Most times they will tell you keep praying for him, he will change. Don't you think that could be the reason, or they are expecting the man or woman will change and they keep having faith? Do you think? I'm not believing that they don't have wisdom.
So let me tell you something, man. When we are talking of wisdom, wisdom is selecting spouses. It's different from wisdom in life affairs, or maybe you are wise in your job. You are, you are very intelligent. Being intellectually intelligent is different from being emotionally intelligent. Like I said the other time, I was talking about all my cases. I was able to gather almost 87%, 90% of my cases. And I could tie each cause of domestic violence, abuse, to people with 7 character traits. Every single cause of separations or divorces or domestic violence was because they got married to men and women who had one or a combination of 7 character traits. And I had said it and that is what I am currently teaching. I've been saying it every year, that the moment you find someone with any of these character traits, you run. Because if you marry them, your marriage will be a prayer point. It will be frustration. It will be violence.
What are the attributes?
Thank you. Number 1, a proud person. Number 2, a jealous person. Number 3, a stingy or selfish person. Number 4, a jobless person. Number 5, a liar, someone who lies. Number 6, a hot-tempered person. And number 7, a malicious person. Now, the presence of some traits in you will facilitate other traits. For example, anyone that is jealous will be malicious. When it comes to malice, there are 2 variations of malice. Be careful of people that don't forgive easily. People you have to keep apologizing for because they don't forgive. You will beg you. These are people that when you offend them, they won't pick your calls. They won't reply your text messages. You have to beg somebody. One week, 2 weeks, they are still there in the same house. They won't greet you. It is good morning, good night. Beware of people that don't forgive easily, and people date people that you see that you always have to call somebody to help you beg. You know, call his friends to help you beg. Those people,
that thing.
those ones. Then the second variation to malice are those that cannot handle the success of a spouse. Your success, okay. A case came to us where the woman was promoted at work and given an official car. And she got home to share the news with her husband that, I've been promoted with an official car. And the husband said, why is it always you they are promoting in that office? They promoted you about 5 years ago, they promoted you again, and they gave you an official car. Don't bring any official car to this house. You and that's your boss. That is why they are promoting. So the woman will have to park her car in the filling station down her street and walk home. About 2.5 months later, the man now told the woman that now I want you to leave that job. So it became a problem when the Christian leaders, you went to church to tell, and they were like, so you want to take your job over your marriage, you better leave the job and face your marriage. But the woman was a level away from being a manager. And she was like, she really worked hard for this. And you don't tell me to, and she earns more than him. She earns 3 times his salary. So when she came to me, I said, no, leave the marriage and hold the job, because that is a malicious, now when you have nothing. So you want to eat, you'll be begging him, and that's what happens. In fact, it is a crime in the Violence Against Persons Prohibitions Act for you to tell your spouse not to work. Section 12, subsection 1. It is against the law. But women don't know. A lot of women, yes, it is against the law. Because even the state, even the states cannot make taxes from people who are able to pay taxes. You not tell them to stop their job.
So how about those men that will say women should not work and stay at home? So they can actually sue their husband for that.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Wow.
So this is my own issue. You married to people who, okay, let us look at the first act of malice in the Bible.
You were telling us a story before you mentioned, you were telling us a story of a woman that the husband did not allow her to work, and the church people said she
Yes.
took the job.
So when she came to me and said, so what should I do? I said, of course, take your job. Take your job. Take your job. The problem with women in abusive marriages is because a lot of them have been disenfranchised, so they don't have money to fight back. They can't angrily pack their bags and leave. And that is the first thing. Yes.
They love women who are very vulnerable.
The first thing they will do is to break your defense. You know, money is your defense. If you have your money, you can pack out anytime. But they will make you dependent on them. By first of all, attacking your source of income. Some will go to your office and purposely create a scene to drive away your clients. Some will come and fight you, like somebody that was sacked from one of the Zenith banks. The wife will come there to come and fight with the secretary. Eventually, they had to sack him.
Wow.
He had received 2 queries that, go and put your house in order. You can't be coming to your wife can't be coming to the bank to be making. Look at the first act of malice. Look at the first act of malice in the Bible. Cain and Abel. One offered a sacrifice, was rejected. One was accepted, and that annoyed the brother. He killed his brother. The first act of murder in the Bible was malice. He could not stand the fact that God accepted his brothers, that the brother was not successful. Look at Joseph. Joseph just dared to have a dream, and that was it. His brothers wanted to kill him. Saul, because some women sang, Saul killed 1,000, David killed 10,000. Saul could not bear the success of, and he spent his entire presidency trying to kill David. And those are people that we have now that they cannot stand. A woman wanted to do masters now. She came because she wanted to be promoted in the office. She had to have a master. So she told the husband, and the husband said, "Come, I am the head of this house. You cannot have a master's before me." So she said, okay. He now collected the money that she wanted to use for masters so that he would do masters before the wife would do masters. 2 years after, the wife said, oh, so how far with the masters? The man didn't do any masters, so he squandered the money. Then she got money again to do it, and the man still refused, and the woman that he has to get the masters before took the money twice and squandered it. You cannot do well under some people. You cannot progress under some people. So I've given you 7 character traits that once you marry, you know there's a difference between long suffering and to suffer long.
Long suffering and suffering long. I know.
Wọ́n yàtọ̀.
Oh my God.
Wọ́n yàtọ̀. And Christians think suffering long is a virtue, makes them a virtuous woman, or when your marriage is a test of your endurance or provocation, and they're telling you, Amuwa Oloni, pray, war room, prayer room. No, sir. The Bible tells you, lead us not into temptation. God does not lead you into temptation. Even when the devil he told Jesus to jump. Jesus said, you cannot tempt the Lord your God. Your marriage is not a temptation. You don't marry the weapon fashioned against you. And these are the problems. Those secular girls have dated men that have beaten them, gotten them pregnant and abandoned them, done all kinds of things to them, to the extent that when they see a good man, they can tell the difference. While the Christian is still saying, I'm praying, they have attacked and gotten the man. They don't care whether you are engaged, though, because they can tell a good man. But when it comes to Christians, they are just an open book. They marry people with venereal diseases. They marry people who have reproductive problems. They marry people.
They don't do this something. Where are they getting?
Yes, now because there is no sex before marriage, you don't even know that you are not sexually compatible. People hide their problems, their medical conditions. They say, no sex before marriage, because if you had that sex, you would have found out that some of them have problems with their reproductive organs.
Wait, so there was a program I did a few days ago. They are still crying under that post too, where I said once a woman is about 35 upwards, you are expected either married or married to be doing kerewa. You don't have to have the ring before you can do it. They say, this woman, you are teaching women bad things. I say, somebody that is an adult, responsible, has a work, cannot have relationship until she's married.
Let me tell you some of the things that happened. Okay, FX experienced me. Let me show you. There was a lady.
Like reality, Lara.
Now for reality, there was a lady in Ibadan. She got to me through somebody. She was working in UCH. So while she was serving, she met this guy. They loved themselves to death. And when they finished service, they both got jobs and wanted to get married. That's how the girl's mother said, she likes the guy, but let us go and check it out. They now went to Woli. Woli now said, after praying, that this man will not live long. that she will be a widow. She will be a widow very quickly. And that's how the mother said, they said this man will not live long. Oh. That, this, that. I said the relationship must end. This girl became depressed. This girl became depressed because the mother insisted. The mother, no, they started treating the guy bad. Eventually, the relationship broke. And after a year and a half, the mother would say, hey, is there nobody? She could send it to. And the girl would say, Shebi, you people have driven away the. So there was one man down the house. The one that was now down her street that usually would greet her as she's passing every time, but she doesn't really answer the guy. So one day, the mother was now gisting. They were just gisting in the house that nobody. The girl said nobody. So she and her sister were gisting that there's even one guy on the street. The mother just said, so why don't you greet him back? That you are here, you are getting older, somebody is greeting you. That's how the mother went to find out the name. They just said, greet. So she greeted the guy, they found the name. The mother just took her to that woli. And the woli now said, this is God's perfect will for you. That's how. Thank you, ma. That's Christian dating. No sex before marriage, nothing. Eventually, they agreed, they got married. Honeymoon. In fact, let me drink water for this one.
You can't drink water before you drop the bombshell. Oh, thank you. Drink water.
Honeymoon. Honeymoon like this. They started to start Kerewa. That's how, as it began. The girl said it wasn't up to 1 minute. The guy just started convulsing. He started convulsing. Unknown to her that he had a condition that when he got to the time where he might want to ejaculate, he will now start convulsing and pouring saliva from his mouth.
Going to be secure.
No, this one was even convulsion. Seizure. Seizure.
Yes. Because of the activity. A man, something is from the brain.
But this one was, he had a problem with it. So that's how from Kerewa, thank God she worked at UCH, from Kerewa it now turned to trying to resuscitate the man, and that is how sex had been. So she was always afraid of sex with the man because it was. And you say, let us go to the hospital.
That's not the one you told me she has to come on top. That was how she got pregnant.
She had to. That's because they were not asking.
That was the story. Yeah.
They were not asking. You people will not get pregnant. You people. She couldn't tell them that this man, if you touch him now, and do you know that for 7 years she was sexually frustrated? She was just there, and when she raises it, the man will become violent. That I've had girlfriends before. You are the only one that is complaining. This, you are showing. That's what is always on. So she had to keep quiet. Eventually, plus his violence, plus the jealousy. That kind of man now, because he knows he's inadequate.
Yeah, because of what is going on with him, he will be suspected.
Yes, so if he sees that is where violence started. At the end of the day, she had to leave. In fact, one day she called me and said that every man she sees now, she's almost begging that they should just come and Kerewa with her because she was sexually starved and frustrated. So there are now new wives and women will sleep with the driver. We sleep with the gate man.
I will share it after we are done. I will share it on the comment section so you can get it easily. So I will share it when I'm done.
Okay. So
she will be sexually starved.
Eventually, when the marriage was over.
And there were such people as are dead.
In fact.
Barrister, were there such people as are dead?
Yeah, after the marriage now, the man did not go to church.
No, before the marriage breakup, they were still church people. when she was being stabbed.
Oh yes. Ah yes. Walker.
I'm going somewhere. I need just a yes. Right. Okay. Now, despite that, our body is still asking for that thing, despite being a churchy person.
Yes now.
I thought going to church is supposed to kind of calm her down. It shouldn't trigger that thing in her body.
Àti àdùnní àṣà ẹ̀ wáìn mi ni, are you whining me?
Àwọn Christians ló máa ń wá ènìyàn. So mo fẹ́ kọ́ mo ń bèrè náà ni.
How we
When does being a Christian, does being the person, a minister, a kìíní kan, does it calm that thing down? Does it make that thing not to trigger?
do you know how many of these pastors have children outside? Do you know how many of them are what are killers? So we know some of them now because we prepare agreements for them now. Killers. So wasn't it one in Eduro Kiloruko in Abuja? That has this swimming pool. What is that? The second child, their second child, when they did DNA, did not belong to the husband. That after that, he now had another woman outside, and they were so when they actually two, the one Iginla, yes, Iginla. That's how we had another woman outside. Chris Okoti. How many times has he married? One, two. Then after the third one, he now says that the Holy Spirit has said he shouldn't marry again. And each time he says, God told him this is my wife. God told him this is my husband. So Chris Oyakilome said, I had seen her in my vision before I married. When I saw her, I knew this was the one that God told me. Today they are divorced. So why are you lying on God? Lying on it was God that told you, it was God that told you. Meanwhile, in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, there is nowhere God has told anybody. And you're now asking me why are Christian marriages failing? Because a lot of them are based on lies. God told you where I prayed and I felt peace. What do you mean? Jesus said, my peace I give to you, my peace I live with you. So the very essence of Christianity is peace. So when you pray and you feel peace, does that mean what? It means it is him. And then they are not even taught properly. You have to find out the character of a person before you marry. You have to. Dating is just getting to know character. It's not sexual intercourse. It's not anything. It is just getting to know the character of a person. And all of them will say, I didn't know he was like this. He just changed. I didn't know he was like, if I had known this is how you are, I wouldn't have married you.
Like that. He or she has been like that. Character with you, normal people, to buy this stage.
Then they will, because you are not street smart.
That's how you get character when you want to get something.
You see, manipulation. You are hide. There are some things you cannot hide though. First of all, you cannot hide pride. You cannot. Pride is like a garment. You will see it from their conversation. They are never wrong. Do you know that proud people, they know everything. They are never wrong. So they don't apologize because they're never wrong. You see some people, they will never apologize for anything. They just want you to continue from there.
Barrister, let's give them the suspects. We will come back again very soon. Kindly subscribe to Barrister Olumide's channel. He will be talking on divorce, relationship, marriage, what you need to look at before going to that marriage. I will be joining him once in a while, at least maybe once a week, for us to do this together, and or he joins me whichever one. So I will put the link of his channel on the comment section when I am done. When we are done, so you can get to click and get to see the page easily. Barrister Olumide, do you have anything to say? I want to leave, and maybe continue with you. But I want to leave anytime from now.
I'm looking at, we've spent 1 hour 20 minutes, Abby. Is this 1 minute 20?
You are right, about 1 hour 15 minutes now.
Listen.
When you are doing a live show, you don't know. So before you know it, you have gone to 3 hours.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I did a lot, so I'm going to feel pain in my back for sitting for so long. Thank you, lady boss. Thank you so much. So I'm beginning to feel some pains on my back already. So I need to go stretch out. That's the problem. I'm beginning to feel pains because I did a live show earlier. So this is the Lagos second live show I'm doing today.
I'm just glad that I was able to get you. I was able to get you like this, that we can do the show like this.
I have never tried this. Now that I know, nobody have WhatsApp or on Facebook, YouTube, we matter to see. Go out and subscribe to my yard. I've never tried, but I know the button is there. And I'm glad we got it right.
Fantastic.
We'll pick on so many topics. We can be picking on different topics that affect marriage, relationship, parenting, and all those kind of stuff. So instead of talking on church and pastor all the time, and I'm even getting bored talking about pastors.
What we should do next, these 7 character traits that I mentioned, we have to break it down so that everybody will know what to look out for. And that's what I'm doing. Betty Oyeride, thank you very much. Awesome. It's awesome having you here. We should break that. I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube.
Great. I thought it was only YouTube. That's good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I will still go into, there's something I would have loved us to talk about today, but because it wasn't well, because we have to set up and all that. Abuse. I really want us to address this abuse thing. There is a case, I don't know when we can do it, of a lady. That thing is pissing me off, and I think it needed to be addressed. This lady, her husband beat her blue black. She cried out, and the next thing, after crying out, she said people should just mind their business again. I think there's something wrong. She's not the one playing the script. She's under abuse. The man is totally in control. She's living in fear. I want us to address things like that. Not today, not today.
So I would try at least 2-3 times a week to come up here, and there will be a particular session that I will just be open for questions so that people would ask their questions. There's so much.
Yes, question. Yes.
So much to say.
Question and answer.
So much to say. That to tell people that statistics have shown you that marriage is not about religion. It is not about tribe, where you come from, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, whether Yoruba marry Yoruba. It is not about any of that. Marriage is about character. Yes, marriage is basically about the character of the person you marry. What you are getting married to is not the person's religion. Your bedroom is not an altar or a temple. The house is not a spirit. You are marrying his character. In fact, Auntie Aduni,
because woman.
Yes.
Don't let's forget that is married. Don't let us limit it to men and make it like men are the only problem of marriage.
When I
it could be the man. But in most cases, men.
When I say men, like God said, God created man. We know that it's not only man, it is woman. The man that I'm talking about is the human. You are talking about the human, everybody. It is character. So the most important thing to watch out for is the character of the person.
Okay. So let us do the next thing we're going to do. Our next show together, let's do the character thing.
Yes, the character.
Characters go together.
In fact,
allow people to call into and ask questions.
Yes, the character.
Whoever asks questions, whoever is at trouble issues, some trouble, relationship or marriage, and they are in a fix, we'll give them opportunity to call in and ask questions. And if they want to talk to you privately, maybe we'll get to that stage. They can have access to you. With all the one you have already.
This year is for awareness. So, do you know that, Auntie Aduni, we lost over 300 women in Nigeria just last year? This year, within the
Somebody somebody just bought his wife.
For
Like this last week.
that is the fourth incident of burning a woman. Just last week.
This year?
Yes, just last week.
This year?
In Abuja, Jabi Park, one Sahid burnt his girlfriend. He's 47 years old. The girlfriend is 32 years old. At Jabi Motor Park. Not even in the house, in the motor park.
In public.
In public. He was lynched. He was almost killed. It was the police that rescued him. The woman is in intensive care.
Wow.
That's one. In Ikorodu last week, a man set his wife ablaze. In Kano, another one set the wife ablaze. One gospel minister just dismembered his girlfriend. One gospel musician like that, Timmy or something. Already, we have lost 5 women in this January that we know. 5.
The ones that were reported.
Those are the reported ones. So the year has not even started. And you tell them, each time I tell you, watch out for character. Hot-tempered people. I dealt with that today. I'm going to go. Character traits here, Lamaso.
I'm just about sending you a topic now too that will address things like that. I just send it to you. When you are sure you can check.
All right.
I just send you another topic that topic is very, very important because I titled it mental illness in marriage. Mental health, sorry, it's supposed to be mental health. Okay, I actually said mental health in marriage. Please take note. One of this weekend we're gonna treat it too. Hopefully I get my Facebook page, so we start to come to YouTube.
You know,
mental health in marriage, very, very important.
Did you cut it? You cut it. Auntie Aduni has cut our connection mistakenly. You mistakenly cut the line.
Hello, Barrister.
No, I heard you, but your hand touched it and cut it off.
Okay, so at what point did you stop hearing me?
Mental health in marriages.
Yes, it's very, very important, very key.
Oh.
Many people, you see all these people that they are burning, this domestic violence, most of the partners are not mentally stable. People don't know.
You see,
and there are signs to these things. Okay, somebody said how to deal with it. We'll get there, don't worry. We'll start taking it one after the other. There are lots of people that are dealing with mentally unstable people without knowing.
I wonder why people choose to deal with people instead of leave the people. There is in social sciences
That's
now.
Another topic.
In social sciences,
instead of dealing, why not leave?
Why would my life be an experiment to see whether I can handle someone who is hot-tempered? The person will beat me. I'll see her. Okay, how do I adjust? I have one eye. There was a woman that I brought to the day she was promoted. She was promoted to regional manager of a multinational drug company in Nigeria. The day she got her promotion letter, the day her husband got her blind in both eyes. She had separated for 2 years. It was church and all these family people, don't worry. And then eventually she came back after 2 years. She was promoted. The day she was promoted, she's blind now. Why? What are you trying to?
That this lady I was talking of.
Go ahead, Auntie Aduni.
Go ahead. This lady I was talking of that the husband beat this last week. I'm sure that her left eye can never be the same again. her left hand can never be the same again. And she's still with the man. She said people should leave her husband alone. But we could hear her, we could hear the man telling her what to say.
It's not
the
a
voice
problem.
Of the man was being heard in the background.
It's not a problem, Auntie.
She was reading. But in a safe society, I think it's just because the women are not protected in our part of the world. In this kind of society, that man would have been arrested, either she wants it or not.
So
the man would have been arrested. The law will protect that woman from that man.
So
the law will protect that woman from that man, either she likes it or not. And if they find out the man is even abusing the children under her, both of them will go to jail for it.
So, ma, the issue in Nigeria is that there are laws that also protect the women, but the women will go back during prosecution. You will find they will go back. One case that I was handling last year. I think I sent the video to you. The man was beating the woman outside.
Beating her seriously.
Yes.
I saw the video.
The woman told me.
I called them so follow people.
Exactly. The woman told me last month when we were about to start the trial that God told her to stop the prosecution.
Is she back to the man?
They both came together now. They came. The man was now carrying the children, and she said, she just changed, and that's what happens in Nigeria. The moment the victim starts changing the testimony, she will say she's no longer there. He didn't touch me. He didn't beat me. Or I felt that they will just change.
Barrister, do you remember in that video, their neighbor that was recording them, the neighbor was saying, that means it's a regular thing.
Very regular.
And the person that was calling the if you remember, I think you still have that video.
Yes.
So they are back.
They are together.
The way that man is
Together. This is the problem we have. That is why
Nigerian women lack
you see,
self-worth.
1, 2. First of all, there is conclusive research.
That's another topic.
Oh yeah. Okay. So no, it's already 1 hour. It's already 1 hour 30 minutes. So probably we'll do this again. We will do this again. I would have to come up with a schedule, maybe 2-3 times a week that we could meet at least. Once every week.
No.
No, it would not be 2-3. It might just be maybe once a week. You might just collaborate with me.
I assure you I will join you once a week.
Thank you very much.
I will join you once a week to do this here.
Thank you very much.
I want to join you once a week. Whoever wants to join us, I think they can still join too. We can be like 4 talking about this thing. Whoever wants to join, there is a way it can be done. So, I want to go. I'm really aching badly.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting for long.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to be doing this regularly. Follow Barrister Olumide. Is very vast in the issue of marriage. And not only that, please, I'm going to speak to us women more. Look, marriage is beautiful, like I always say. But the marriage that is beautiful is the one that gives you peace. When your marriage has become where you cry, then it is no more marriage. Cry all the time, but the man is abusing you and is not ready for counseling. And also, I will agree, some men too are going through abuse. At least Barrister, there was one video, audio that we discussed too, where the man was talking rubbish, and I was like, if you remember, so we have some men like that too, but ratio of men to women is not the same. So women are more vulnerable in our part of the world, men are more vulnerable in the part of abroad. So we'll be addressing and talking about all this, and we'll talk about not only the bad side, we talk about good side and how to, even though I tried to work, it doesn't impact marriage. We were once in marriage, beautiful marriage, and that's why I still say marriage is beautiful. It is the people inside marriage that makes it looks unattractive. If you get involved with somebody of bad character and all these things that Barrister mentioned, that we're going to develop next time when we come. Verbal abuse is part of it. That one is more damaging, is as damaging as physical abuse. Verbal abuse is as damaging as physical abuse.
Emotional abuse.
In fact, I think emotional abuse is still under verbal abuse.
Yes.
And I think that is what women use against men. Women use it, men use it. It's more, I would say it is even worse because the damages it will do, especially with people who just pick any word and throw it. God forbid, I don't want to deal with such people. All right, guys, I'll see you. I'm really looking.
Thank you very much, Auntie Oduni. Awesome to have you here. See you again. Hello. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I think we spent about 1 hour 36 minutes on YouTube. I can't. Well, it must have been it must be the same time. Jonathan Ebote, I'm always grateful anytime I listen to your program. Thank you very much. Tabitha Grace, Victoria, thank you. Most of our African men do not like to seek for care or for mental health. They see it as a stigma. Most of our African men. When you say mental health issues, I think it's a polite way of saying a character flaw. For example, pathological liars, that is people that lie a lot, is now seen as a mental health issue. That is lying. It's seen as a mental disorder. How people just create fantasies in their heads. And but the truth is, it is called lies. It's just simple, a liar. But there's a way the Western world gives it a good name, wraps it up so that you don't. For example, a prison is now called a correctional facility. It is a prison. So, in fact, conclusive research shows that men who beat their wives are men that grew up watching their own mothers being beaten by their father, an intimate partner, or a family member. So they grew accustomed until they now saw it as normal. And women who remain in abusive marriages are mostly women who grew up watching their mothers being beaten and remaining in the marriage. So they have learned to go nowhere. But check people who left abusive marriages. Their children will not stay in any abusive. In fact, once you touch those ones, they'll say, they will not suffer like their mother suffered. They will move. So the issue here is that our reaction is something that is encoded, especially women who raise, abusive marriages always come with a lot of children. And it is very intentional because the way to keep a woman in an abusive marriage is to make her have multiple pregnancies. It is easier for a woman to live with one child, more difficult to live with 4. So you will find, in fact, now I'm beginning to believe the more the number of children, the higher the probability of abuse. People in happy marriages that are okay, you see them 2, 3 children, and someone that has been beaten, you just see them 6 children. They can go nowhere. Why are you going to go with 6 children? So I tell women and men, once abuse starts, reproduction must stop. Once abuse starts, reproduction must stop. Because you cannot even keep raising children in abuse, because children raised in abuse, as children grow up to become abusive adults. Out of 4, you will check out 1, 2, or even 3 of the children will become abusive to their own spouses. Why? Because that is how you raised them. That is what they are used to. If they would not be physically abusive, they will be verbally abusive. So anyway, I think let me allow us. This is 1 hour 40 minutes. I will come up with a schedule that I would post, I would share. And I think maybe at night time is fantastic for this. 9 o'clock, between 8 and 9, where everybody will be at home. Uh, I found your channel hidden on YouTube. Maybe you need more live shows to publicize. Yes, I need. This is the first live show on my YouTube, so it is hidden. But this would make this will bring it out, I believe. So I will post a schedule. Sometimes they start abusing the children, which is incest. Of course, now sexual abuse, verbal abuse. I think it was three last year. We arrested the general overseer. He's in I think Ikoyi prison now for sexually abusing his own daughters. First of all, he abused his stepdaughter. It's called defiled because that one was not yet 18. Defiled her. Eventually, she committed suicide. Then the younger sister of Abi, the niece of the wife, also came to stay with them, also under 18. He defiled that one. The wife, everybody kept quiet about it. Then, about some years after, he now started defiling his own, sexually abusing his own daughters. It's not a religious matter, it's a character issue. And there are several of them. In Nigeria, me, Feluju, in Ajegunle there, we went to a house where the wife was about 8 months pregnant for the husband, and her daughter was also about 3, 4 months pregnant for the same father, and they're all living in the same house. By the time we wanted to have the man arrested, the man called the pastors, all of them came, and they started pleading with us that the man has known what he did was wrong, and he has prayed for forgiveness, and God has forgiven him. So who are we to arrest who God has forgiven? Can you imagine? Absolute madness. Madam Tabitha Grace, I work with a lot of abused women becoming addicts. Wow. Abuse is that one. We will talk. We have a lot to talk about, but it will be fantastic shortly. Thank you very much, Madam Funlola Bamidele. God bless you, everyone, for joining me. I really appreciate it. Dijoka Oluwaseun, Helen Joseph. Thank you, Madam Betty. Everyone, let me go to YouTube. Elora 1111, Victoria Makinde, Rujejodua. Fantastic. James AB. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. I would share a schedule so that next time I'm live, you can join me. God bless. And let's call it a night. We'll see you shortly. I will now start posting videos going live so that YouTube can now bring out my page. God bless. And how do we end? Okay. How do we end YouTube?